We're here with Morgan Brittany on UltimateDallas.com. Morgan, you obviously, Ultimate Dallas celebrating its 15th anniversary.
I know.
And Colin said that you were one of the first interviews for the website.
Yes.
Did you think that when you joined Dallas back when you went on the air that, obviously you came on such an iconic show. Had you been watching it?
I had not been watching the show when I got cast as Catherine. I really didn't know a whole lot about Dallas, except a lot of people said to me, you'd be really good on that show. And I thought, I'm going to have to start watching it. And the funny thing was, I had just gotten married, and I got a call from my agency, and they said they're adding a new character to the show, Pam's sister, and they want you to go out on the audition. So I went out on the audition, and it was a cattle call because they didn't know what they wanted. They had no idea. And I didn't really give it a whole lot of thought, but then the next thing I know, I'm cast on the show.
And I think it's the eyes, like Donna Mills. You have those eyes that really...
Larry Hagman, he used to call me wolf eyes, and he'd be in the middle of a scene with me, and he'd forget his line, he'd forget his dialogue, and he's going, I'm sorry, I got lost in your eyes.
Now, did you expect that all these years later we'd still be talking about Dallas?
I knew that it was an iconic show. I knew it when I was working on it because of the Who Shot JR phenomenon that was so huge, and everywhere in the world it was just exploding. So I knew it was an important project, even when I was working on it. But when it ended, I thought, well, okay, it ended. Maybe they'll do a movie, maybe they'll do reunions, but I never thought they'd come back with a new show.
And obviously you've been watching the show.
Yes.
From all your comments and other interviews, you seem to have a vast knowledge. Did you watch the original show after you left, too?
I did not watch a lot of the Dallas show after I left because I kind of lost track of it. I was out doing movies, and I had young babies at the time too,
right.
So I didn't have a whole lot of time. But I know where everything is pretty much.
Yeah, and how have you found the new series?
I like it. I like it a lot. I think they're very true to it.
Is it unprecedented that something would be off for 21 years? I mean, you have the remakes like Charlie's Angels and all the bad
That's
things.
That's a new cast.
Right. Is this unprecedented that they've, like a 21-year hiatus?
It is. I think it was very, very brilliant the way they did it as well. To bring back the next generation, but to also include the original cast members as well. I think that was a brilliant move because you have all that fan base from the original show that still loves the show.
Right.
And then you have the new generation, which has a whole new fan base. So it was very smart.
And how do you find the new generation as far as acting?
I like it. Very good actors.
Any standouts to you?
I love, is it Josh Henderson who plays...
John Ross?
John Ross.
Yeah, we joke, having the same first name, we joke.
Yes, he's so good.
He just had a birthday the other day.
I know, I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's really good, and I like the way that they're playing the characters. They're being very true to what they should be, and they're very good.
And you mentioned yesterday, you said you thought your daughter should have auditioned for the role of Emma.
Yeah, of Emma. Yes, my daughter is an actress, and she's a very tall blonde, kind of looks like a young Grace Kelly, and
you look like Vivian Lee a little in the structure. So
I played her. So yeah. So my daughter, I kept telling her, I said it came out in the breakdowns. You really should try to go in on it. And her agency, they were already screen testing girls for the part, so she didn't get to go in. But
And they went with Emma Bell from The Walking Dead.
They did. Yes.
Do you see a place for Catherine in this storyline at all, anywhere, at any point?
Catherine is out there somewhere, and nobody really knows where she is, but as long as there's a connection with Cliff Barnes, because she is still the Barnes Wentworth family, she still has the connection with Bobby. She's she's still in love with him.
Yes.
She didn't ever finish business with JR, so there's always
Love child.
Yeah, love child. That's right.
But the interesting thing is that cable you do shorter seasons, so there's less filler. Do you think that's benefiting the new show?
I think because we're in a faster moving world now. Everything moves really fast. Back in the day when we were doing the original Dallas, you could take time to build the storylines. Now things are quicker, things are faster. And I think you need that in order to keep the interest. And it's just the way, it's a sign of the times.
Like the email versus the letter.
Yes.
How it unfolded over 4 episodes versus a whole season.
Exactly.
And I think you mentioned somewhere once that you went on the Melrose Place very shortly. You were one of the few fatalities when Marcia Cross blew up
Melrose Place.
And she was on Knots Landing too.
Right.
You mentioned something about how it's different now than it was back when you were there. Like people they knew their lines, or
in the older days of television, everybody knew their characters so well, and everybody was always on time and always hit their marks and always was there for the cast, the crew, everybody. I've noticed as time went on that it became less and less important for people to know their lines. I worked with many actors who didn't even bother to learn their lines. They just stick a piece of paper up and read it. I mean, it changed a lot. It got very lazy. People wouldn't hit their marks, and I noticed a big difference.
And I talk about the story Linda Gray. There was a video of her right before the Pasadena press tour in January. She's outside signing autographs, and her handler was trying to get her inside, and she said, "They can wait because these people out here are why I am where I am." And she, the old school gets it, and
sometimes the new generation has to understand that you do have an obligation to the people who watch you and who are there for you and who make you who you are. Because without them, if you have no audience, you have no show.
Which is what obviously brought you to an event like Chiller.
Absolutely.
Here. Have you done these before? Or?
I've done a couple of them, yeah.
And how is it getting out among the fans?
It's great. It's great because everybody knows so many things about the shows that I've done in the past, and they'll ask me poignant questions about. So I remember this scene. What was it like? What were the special effects? How was it different back then? What was it like to work with Lucy or Henry Fonda or Gene Kelly to dance with Gene Kelly?
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Andy Griffith. All these people. Bob Hope. And these people, the fans that come, are so they're so grateful to talk to you and to get the inside story. It's great.
Yeah, and you were just down at the Mayberry.
Oh yes, Mayberry Days in Mount Airy.
So you get it out there on Twitter.
Yes, I do.
How are you finding the Twitter world?
I'm getting used to it. There's a lot of fans on there that have started a campaign to bring Catherine back to Dallas.
Right. That's how I found you. And
right.
Obviously Halloween's coming up, and Hitchcock is big at Halloween. They just had that movie about him and Tippi Hedren.
The Girl. Yes.
You saw that.
I did.
And you were in The Birds.
It was very, very good. Very true. Yes.
So, can you say anything about your time with Hitchcock at all? Or
I was very young, but I do remember he was was strange. His sense of humor was one that, as a child, I didn't understand it. I noticed the tension between he and Tippy, even when we were working. But she was very professional, and she did her job, and she did everything she needed to do. So, yeah, it was interesting. It's interesting to work with those people.
So you've seen them. And one that they never ask about much is Priscilla Pointer. How was it working with her?
Priscilla was wonderful. Sweet, charming, classy, just a wonderful lady.
Yeah.
Wonderful lady.
And do you have any messages? Can we hope to see you back on Dallas? Any messages to the fans?
Oh, listen, I want all the fans to keep Dallas in their minds, keep Dallas number one. Let's just keep it going all the time, because Dallas is iconic. There's nothing else like it. J.R. Ewing will live forever, and I'm very proud to be a part of that show. I really am.
Okay.
And I'm so glad Ultimate Dallas is there. So glad.
And if you just say hi to Colin or...
Hi, Colin. It's good to see you. I hope I haven't changed too much.